It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
It's that time. It's a cup of coffee with Will and Uncle Chris right here at Slumberland at the lake. Boy, what a crazy Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure everyone was as busy as Slumberland and all the lake restaurants. The place was packed over the weekend, Chris.
Yeah, it was a great weekend, a good holiday weekend. I think a lot of the locals got out of town.
Yeah.
A lot of the out-of-towners came into town. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun, but we also had some tragedy over the Memorial Day weekend at the lake, so we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about Somerset Boat Lifts, one of the iconic local businesses at the lake over the last 35 plus years. Officially sells. We'll cover that story. Also, a lot of things still coming, of course, Memorial Day weekend now in the rearview mirror, but lake race coming to the lake next weekend. That is going to be epic. We're looking really forward to that just around the corner. That and a whole lot more. And of course, when we come back from our break, we're going to be fortunate enough to be joined by Heather Brown, the executive director for the CVB here. And she's going to talk about the Best Damn Birthday Bash attempt for the Lake of the Ozarks for the Guinness World Record for biggest boat parade ever. And that is just a little over a week away.
Yeah, and they're struggling to get the numbers right now. So if you're going to get in that boat parade, get in the boat parade.
I mean, a lot of people are going to be there. I just don't think people are registering. So Heather will tell us how you get registered, the benefits of doing that, and a whole lot more. But first, after what had to be a crazy weekend for our friends right here at Slumberland at the lake, I did notice, Chris, as I walked in, they must have sold a lot of furniture.
Yeah.
We're missing our bed over here in the corner.
Right over here on the set. Our bed's gone. We can't take a nap, So, yeah, they must have sold a lot of furniture.
I would imagine. But before we talk to Heather, we owe you this message from our friend Daryl at Slumberland.
Hey everyone, Daryl Cunningham with Slumberland Furniture at the Lake. We just had an awesome Memorial Weekend sale. Sold a ton of stuff. That means we have room for all the new stuff that we have coming in. If you haven't been by, you need to check it out. You can still take advantage of Memorial Day sale prices. And those are just a few of the examples of the new stuff that we have out. Come see us at Slumberland, where it's always a good life.
And we're back on a cup of coffee with Will and Chris right here at Slumberland at the lake. And we are fortunate enough, as I told you, to be joined by Executive Director of Lake of the Ozarks Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's Heather Brown. Heather, what's going on, my friend?
Yes, thank you for having me. And just so you guys know, we can call it CVB so your mouth isn't completely full by saying that entire name. But yes, thank you for having me.
I practiced my P's and Q's all morning to get that out in one shot.
To get it out, I know.
Okay, so amazing things going on at the CVB. I know you're newer to the position, but one thing we want to focus on today is because it's next weekend is our attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the largest boat parade, all part of the Best Damn Birthday Bash. What can you tell us about this incredible event?
Well, it is going to be amazing. First of all, we have to thank Mortgage Headquarters for sponsoring the $15,000 that it takes to get the adjudicator down here. So that was hurdle number one. How do we get the adjudicator to Lake of the Ozarks? Guinness requires this in order to let you know that day that you broke the record, which we felt like was essential for this attempt. So MHQ, Mortgage Headquarters, thank you so much for your sponsorship, and we have them as part of the boat parade, so they've been a huge help in assisting. We need as many people to register. We are a huge lake. A lot of people see boats out on the water and just assume, oh, we'll make that easily. We've seen at a lot of these events thousands of boats. However, that's just not the case. You have to register. So we need you registered. That's part of Guinness's rule, is that we have everybody register so they can be part of this amazing attempt.
And not only when you register will you become part of the official event and attempt to break this record, but there's a swag bag. It has some pretty cool stuff, and you must register. So what all does that entail for the $50?
Yes. So first, let me back up. The event is Saturday, June 12th. we are going to have people start what we call milling at 9 a.m. So there is a map that we're putting up on the website, but once you register, you'll also get information, and it'll tell you exactly per the size of your boat where you're going to be staged on the lake until the parade begins. The parade is actually just 2 miles between the 22-mile marker and the 24. So we will have you staged going around the lake until you get to those mile markers, and then we have to have a continual flow with no break in order to break the record. So there's a lot of details. So once you register, you go to bestdamnbirthdaybash.com, you fill out the registration, you pay $50 through PayPal, which is on the website. That gets you a shirt and a flag, and both of them just kind of commemorate the day and the attempt, but you can order more shirts based off of if you have a boatload of people that are coming, and we encourage you guys to do it, so we make sure we have shirts and flags for every boat. So we need you guys to register ASAP.
Yeah, you gotta go get registered. Yes. Of course, bestdamnbirthdaybash.com, and then you'll select boat parade. Now you'll see that link right here on your screen, so it's not hard for you to find. Now this is a pretty cool idea, and it's all part of the Bagnell Dam celebrating 90 years, Missouri celebrating 200 years, and it kind of all comes together for this Best Dam Birthday Bash at the lake. And the reason for this, it's kind of the fundraiser for what we believe is going to be the largest firework display ever at the lake, and maybe even in Missouri.
Yes, so we're very excited about that. So we wanted to celebrate Missouri's 200th birthday and the Bagnell Dam's 90th. So we came up with a week-long event starting in August 6th, believe it or not, and it'll run for about a week solid of just events happening. And go to bestdamnbirthdaybash.com to see all the events and everything happening. But we wanted to do a fireworks show on August 10th, which is Missouri's actual birthday. So we said, okay, how are we going to pay for that? And so we came up with this concept, and we said, why not break a record and do a fundraiser? So the money is a fundraiser. So we have been asked that question a lot. So the $50 goes towards the cost of the shirts, the flags, but then also we're going to put any residual cash towards the fireworks. So
man, such an exciting event, just a week and a little more away. Saturday, June 12th, Lake of the Ozarks attempts to break the Guinness World Record for the world's largest boat parade ever. You must register. Go to again, the website is the bestdamnbirthdaybash.com. And Heather, we do want to give a shout out. Mary Kay, I know, was instrumental. And then Tom Abbott, as far as just coordinating all of this stuff. He's doing
all the logistics with the milling station, the water patrol, LOA, the safety boats. He's done a lot with that. We have, Facelift Marketing and Designs has done a tremendous job with the shirt design. We have Tri-County Lodging Association in Legina, who's done a tremendous job helping. Convention and Visitor Bureau. We have a lot of different people that are in the mix trying to make this happen, as well as Camden Area Chamber, Lake Area Chamber. And then as far as the Best Damn Birthday Bash goes as a whole, there's just a tremendous amount of people. So there's not one organization putting this on. That's one of the questions we get asked a lot. It's a group of people that just really want to celebrate.
It takes a village to do something like this. Well, Heather, thank you so much for your time. One last time, Saturday, June 12th, attempting to break the Guinness World Record for biggest boat parade. Make sure you go to that link we put on your screen. We'll be right back on Cup of Coffee after this. Heather, one more time, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you know who KB is? Have you ever heard of KB?
No.
No.
Oh, yes. I've heard of KB, and I've known him for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, I've heard of that character.
What do you think of him? Is he a good guy? Is he somebody that you would, maybe lend $5 to, knowing you'd get it back?
Oh, sure, I'd do that. That's easy.
He's kind of a wild man at times, but he likes to work out and push a little iron once in a while.
And that right there is just a small preview of what you can expect on What's Burning with Kevin KB Burns. Of course, that starts, as you saw, June 17th.
Coming fast, right?
Yeah, right here on Lake TV.
We're all excited because this is just going to be a great show.
Yeah.
KB's going to be KB, so he'll be giving you his opinions on KB stuff, but he's also going to be out in the community having fun, meeting and greeting people, and we got some fun things lined up, so you're really going to enjoy that show. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be indeed. In the meantime, we got some crazy local headlines. What was a record-setting Memorial Day weekend at the lake turns tragic. When I say record-setting, I had heard of different lake bars that got up to a 4-hour wait for tables, and people were still flocking into the place, putting their names on the list. So there were more people. I'd hate to even guess a number as far as how many people made their way down to the lake. You saw the pictures of the traffic backed up on HH and all over the lake, coming in and coming out main highways. And I mean, it was a great weekend. However, did have some tragic things take place. And the first one was, man was shot and killed at Shady Gators. Just crazy.
Yeah, really. It's Saturday night, 10:50 in the evening. Shots ring out. Camden County Sheriff's Office got a 911 call from Lazy Gators, part of the Shady Gators complex there, and report shots were fired. Officers arrived, found a 27-year-old that had been shot. He was taken to the hospital where he died upon arrival. A couple of guys apparently arrested on the scene. They were looking for a third person. They found that third person apparently. The guy that died from Jefferson City, 27-year-old Vonze Watson. So just 27-year-old. You know, we say tragic, and obviously it is tragic. It's also really scary that you see, this happening in our little community here, but it's tough.
It is indeed, and of course, no charges have been filed yet. Of course, all 3 suspects have been apprehended and are in custody, or according to Lake Expo's report, the third that was at large and they were searching for has been located. It didn't say that he had been apprehended or arrested, just that he had been located. So I don't want to assume that he has been arrested, but all 3 suspects have been located. Just a very tragic thing. Of course, our thoughts, prayers go out to this young man's family, his friends, and not what you expected. You come to the weekend at the lake, and that wasn't the only tragic event. Just a couple days prior to that, I think it was Thursday, a 22-year-old man left a party. I believe his name Jose Ramirez, and he had left a party. And the article, according to LakeExpo.com, based on what they got from Missouri State Highway Patrol, said he was highly intoxicated, and he was then found in the water, drowned. Just so 2 very tragic things this weekend. Did I leave anything out as far as?
Well, the drowning was on Friday afternoon. The shooting was on Saturday, and this was about the 10-mile marker. And like you said, apparently he was down partying with friends at a residence, wandered off, nobody knew where he went, and then they found him dead. Had, either fallen in or thought he was going to go swimming or something, and just 22 years old. So very sad. He was pronounced dead at the scene at 5:32 on Friday. So a couple of tragedies there.
Very, very sad. And, the Lake of the Ozarks is an amazing place to come. Great place to come down with your friends, your family, get away and have fun. But, Chris, this is always the risk that you run when you have alcohol involved, and you look at the shooting at Shady Gators. You can't assume there's alcohol involved, but I mean, that is a party establishment. People go there to have a good time and forget about reality. And then, of course, the other one, it was clear he was inebriated. And when you mix the two, you have alcohol, and then you have this body of water. I mean, things are bound and determined to happen. So I always say, if you're going to drink at the lake, make sure you're around people you know and trust, and have a plan and action as far as safe driving, and also people around you that'll know your whereabouts. Because, I mean, you think about it, when you're under the influence, you don't think as clearly, and your judgment is not as sharp as it typically is.
Well, and I mean, the things that make the Lake of the Ozarks one of the greatest places in the world, certainly the #1 recreational lake in the nation, right? But the things that make it so great here also make it easy to drink, right? I mean, when you're around water, the alcohol goes down faster. When you're around fire, a lot of people have fire pits and things like that. Somehow the alcohol just goes down, and partying and all that stuff. So you really do have to be pretty careful. You got to plan for this stuff, and that's it's a two-edged sword. It's a great place to come and party, but you got to be. You got to do it smartly.
Yeah, absolutely. So those were the 2 crazy headlines, and it's sad because such an amazing weekend. The influx of people, the memories that were made. We know that a lot of local business owners had record-setting weekends, and we're happy for them.
I was getting reports about this famous guy waiting tables at Chances Are all holiday weekend. Yeah,
I was there. It was a fun weekend, man, at Chances. I gotta tell you, man, Mom and Dad's staff at Chances are just amazing. How hard they all worked. They all just put up crazy numbers all weekend. And
it was so funny though, because people are coming in from Illinois and Iowa, and they see you and they're asking for your autograph, which is kind of great for Lake TV, right? People are watching all over the Midwest. Which
it was funny. Someone stopped Nikki and said, is that redhead over there? That's not William Holtz from Lake TV. And she said yes. So she sent me out, and they were super cool. They got pictures. They had me write something on a piece of paper and sign it. So they're going to hang it at their lake house. So if you guys are watching, which I'm sure you are, thank you for coming into Chances and recognizing me. Sure made my night.
There you go.
The first time I've ever had to sign an autograph. So probably the last too. But it was just a great weekend. As a whole, even with the tragedy. And then another story I wanted to talk about, which you guys probably saw photos. If you didn't, we're going to show you now, is this incredible Nortech Catamaran sank this weekend at the lake. Of course, it was retrieved, as you see right there, lake tow. They were able to help get it up. But man, it's a beautiful boat, and I'm sure that's not going to be a cheap repair. It's probably not going to be a cheap fix job right there. But luckily, it didn't sink completely, and they were able to bring it up before too much water damage was done.
Yeah, I first saw it on Facebook. Somebody posted it as they were on their boat driving by, and they took some video of it, and I'm like, wow, because the front half of the boat is sticking straight up. The bottom half of the boat, waterlogged, was down underneath the water. Pretty scary. Pretty awesome pictures, though, from Lake Expo and everything. And they don't really say what happened, if there was a leak, or it just says, that started taking on water, and then you see what happened there. But I mean, that's not a cheap boat there. That's got to be a few bills.
I would say well over $250,000 for that. Nortech is one of the premium speedboats that are made. They're not in everyone's price range, and I don't know if this is fact, so I can't say for sure, but I did hear someone saying that the waves had gotten so big that water started to get into the boat and eventually took on too much water and got down. So can't confirm that, but that kind of appears what happened, unless there was some problem underneath in the compartment.
And it's kind of funny because I think I'm one of the newer residents. I've only been here for a couple years, newer residents, but seems like a lot of the locals, like when the weekends roll around in the summer, especially holiday weekends, the locals stay off the water.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we tend to go out after 3 or 4 or 5 on Sunday, and stay off the water after noon on Friday or something, right? Because it gets pretty crazy out there, and those waves, those wakes they can get nasty.
No doubt about it. So that kind of wrapped up the Memorial Day weekend, and as we look ahead to what should be a couple more great weekends, we got to talk about just an exciting story for the Brooks family. 1982, Dave and Kathy Brooks started Somerset Boat Lifts. They've been down here for nearly 40 years doing what they absolutely love and providing one of the best, if not the best, lift. And of course, they've sold officially to the Cobalt Boats family, the St. Clair family. So pretty exciting. Chris, what can you tell us about this?
And it's one of those things that kind of shocks you when you first hear about it. And we know, we're fortunate enough to know the Schuster family pretty well, and they told us a few days before the news came out, and I think we were both kind of blown away by it, because they are, as you said, they're iconic in this area. Somerset Boat Lifts and the Schusters, and they've been here forever, and they're just such great people. Everybody loves them. When you see something like that, you sit back, or I sit back and wonder, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing that the Schuster family is selling the company? But apparently they're still going to be running things.
Yeah, well, for Dave and Kathy, of course, starting in '82, they had been happy, with Keith, Angie, and Brian, of course, their 2 kids, and then Brian, Angie's husband. They had really let them do a lot of the stuff over the last few years. And the cool thing is, even though Paxton St. Clair, who is Cobalt Boats owner, they sold Cobalt Boats to Malibu, which is cool. So this is their new venture, and they're keeping Keith, Angie, and Brian still be in the same capacity, so the same level of customer care and service you've always been used to will still be there. And then Ron Witt, who has been with manufacturing side that they launched, I believe, in 2004 on the manufacturing side, he'll still be around. So not a lot of changes as far as the faces you're going to be used to seeing. Still great customer service. But to Dave and Kathy Brooks, they deserve this. So huge congratulations to you guys. And we got to talk to them
We did. I was just going to say, I first met him at a chamber dinner. In fact, it was the dinner that Lake TV was named Small Business of the Year. And we just sat there and talked with the Brookses for, but we just laughed. We were just
like
there.
An hour,
It did, and we were just there laughing because he's got so many great stories. And in fact, after that, I talked to Angie and I said, we need to have you and your dad on the Community Spotlight show on Lake TV, because I mean, you guys are just hilarious.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just blue collar as it gets, hardworking, fabric of what this country is about. So congrats to Dave and Kathy Brooks. Okay, so one historic weekend with Memorial Day. It's going to lead right into another historic weekend as Lake Race is back at Lake of the Ozarks this weekend. It's bigger, badder, better than ever. And of course, it's a week-long full of events starting with Thursday with the, you can go meet the drivers at Camden on the Lake. They'll be there. And then, of course, Friday is the big street party. Takes over Bagnell Dam Strip all the way from Tucker's down to host location Neon Taco. And it'll be open container, Chris, so you'll be able to walk around, see the boats, see the race teams, buy some gear, mingle with the people, all while having a cold one. And, of course, Friday night will get you ready for what will be an action-packed Saturday as Lake Race back at the lake. Opening ceremonies 10:45 with the national anthem. National touring artist is going to be kicking that off with the national anthem, and racing starts at 11. And the cool thing is there's a new class to this year's races as Tim Siebold's, and I'm not 100% sure what the name of that class. I was trying to get Tom Abbott to text me. But if you go look on Lake TV's Facebook page to when Tom Abbott and I talked about Lake Race on Mic'd Up last week, you can see all that information. But Chris, it's just going to be such a fun weekend. When you come to Lake, you want boating, and this is as good as it gets because they're in the water together, side by side. It's dangerous, it's thrilling, it's exciting, it's everything you want in high-speed power sports, and it is happening this weekend. Now, if you want to find out about all the mini events and where you want to watch, how you can watch on TV, listen on the radio, watch on Facebook, just go to lakeexpo.com, and their featured article is Lake Race, Things You Need to Know, and that'll walk you through that entire process. All right, so the only other story we really got to talk about, we didn't get to talk about it last week because we ran out of time. This one is stinking cool. Oldest player ever to win a major championship, Phil Lefty Mickelson, wins the PGA Championship last week at the age of 50, and that was one of the most unexpected wins because it wasn't like he was right on the verge. He had missed many cuts. He hadn't won his last major since 2019. He was kind of just dwindling away, and a lot of people were like, man, where's Lefty going? Well, he is back, man, I'll tell you.
He came out of nowhere because he really hadn't been doing that well. He'd missed a lot of cuts. All of a sudden he comes out and he wins a major, PGA Championship. Kind of reminds me of Tiger winning his last major a couple of years ago at was it the Masters
2019?
Yeah,
the Masters.
I mean, just out of nowhere where he kind of pulls that out. Lefty did it. Sometimes when you live in an age of greatness, you know, I think back of the great Laker Celtic years, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, those guys. When it was happening, people didn't realize how great of an era it was. It's kind of like the Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson era was greatness, one of the greatest eras of golf, and it's kind of gone now, but this was just a little tail there on the end.
I wouldn't say it's gone. This might have sparked a flame in Lefty.
Maybe so.
And I'm not so sure that Tiger doesn't get healthy and doesn't win another green jacket.
He can't even walk right now, right?
And guess what? He couldn't walk a few years ago.
Well, there you go.
Everyone counted him out. But good for Lefty. One of the most entertaining and cool personalities. And when you say one of the greatest eras, I mean, no one transcended the game of golf and was a polarizing figure nationally, globally in golf than Tiger Woods, you know, during his prime. And still, you saw the interest around golf during that time. And really, the name that's right there and rivals Tiger because they're the same generation is Phil Mickelson, two of, if not the most fan favorites of our generation. And golf is now more popular than it's ever been. And a lot of that can be credited, obviously, to Tiger Woods. But you got to give Lefty some credit as well.
Yeah, and the way he handled being second best for so many of those years, because it was obvious Tiger was the greatest, right? At least of that generation. It turned out he wasn't the greatest overall. That still belongs, I think, to Jack Nicklaus, who has won more majors and all that stuff. Tiger, once he ran into his personal problems, that really brought him down. But he was the greatest ever for a little while. But Mickelson handled being second best to Tiger so well. You know, he did it with class, and then he started winning a few majors of his own. So way to go, Phil Mickelson. And you're right, he down to earth. This guy would call into national talk shows on the radio from his car phone, and they just talk sports for a half hour. Lefty was just one of those great down-to-earth guys.
And I hope he wins another. Now, his next tournament this past weekend, he missed the cut on day 2 by 1 stroke, so back to reality. But, man, I'll tell you what, golf is such a weird game. It's what keeps me interested in it because it is so hard. And so frustrating, I'll tell you.
Just the
That's why you don't golf anymore.
I don't golf at all because it's just too frustrating. Right,
All right, so Dogecoin updated. It'll be short. It'll be sweet. Wasn't a great week. Was all the way down to about 25 cents. Would have been a great time to buy. Trending right now right about 30, 31 cents. So hopefully you see Will over the next couple weeks. Because if you don't, it means things went real south with the Dogecoin.
That's why it was busting tables at Chances Are over the weekend.
That is right. All right, how about an inspirational quote of the week while I lick my wounds over my Dogecoin losses?
Okay. Greatest football coach of all time. Well, that's up for debate.
Bill Belichick.
Maybe so.
Vince Lombardi.
Some would say Vince Lombardi. Some would say Tom Landry. Some would say, who was the longtime coach of the Bills? Marv Levy. Some would say Marv Levy. So Vince Lombardi. This is from the great Vince Lombardi, right? He says, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Love that quote because life is life. Sometimes life sucks, right? You're going to get knocked down. The question is, are you going to get back up?
Yeah,
right?
No doubt about it. Love that one. All right, how about some trivia? Uncle Chris, I'm feeling sharp.
You ready for this?
I'm feeling smart.
Okay.
I'm feeling...
Because you kind of, the last trivia question a couple weeks ago, you're like, you were dissing on like
no, don't talk about it. Just
widows and stuff like that.
No, come on, go to the trivia question. Don't relive.
Okay, so here you go. So this is another Memorial Day question, right? Because we just celebrated Memorial Day. How big was the first Memorial Day? How big of an event was it?
Massive.
You think so? Okay. 1868 was the first Memorial Day. Because remember, they called it Decoration Day before that. Memorial Day, 1868. About 5,000 people decorated the graves at Arlington National Ceremony, first Memorial Day ceremony. And apparently it's still about the same official number that gather there every year now at Arlington National, about 5,000. So 1868 was the first official Memorial Day.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, with Memorial Day being at the lake, it's easy to kind of lose sight of why we're celebrating, you know, with all the party and all the fun, all the events, all the boating, all the friends and family. But it is a great opportunity just to sit back and be mindful about how blessed we are to live where we live, have the freedoms we have. And if it weren't for those, and a lot paid a big price, and then others paid the ultimate price. And for those, that's what Memorial Day is about, to honor our fallen that have fought for our freedoms. And it's really just a really beautiful thing when you think about, man, how lucky are we to live here and to have the freedoms that nowhere else has.
You know who I think about? I think about those men who were in the foxholes, you know, World War II, World War I, Vietnam, whatever war. And they knew there was a really good chance they were going to die, right? And they did that for us, so that we could live in this free nation. It's a screwed up nation. We need to fix a lot of stuff, but they died for us so that we would have that opportunity.
Flag still stands for freedom.
That's right.
And they can't take that away. All right, so as we wrap up, some big time upcoming events. Told you about Lake Race is 1 week away. Don't forget about concert season underway. Lee Brice, the ACM Country Music Artist of the Year, is coming to the amphitheater on the 11th of June. It's going to be a big night. Also Hot Summer Nights that night on the Bagnell Dam Strip from 5 to 10. And then, of course, the world's largest boat parade, the Attempt to Break the world's largest boat parade.
Sign up for that. Register for that.
Register now so you don't miss that. And, of course, what's going on here on Lake TV, Chris? We'll have Weekend at the Lake with Bob Spicer.
Yep, that's right. Great Bob. He tells us what's coming up, what happened last week. This week on the Community Spotlight Show, we've got the mayor of Camdenton, John McNabb. So we get to find out about him. You know,
I didn't know he was a coach in Camdenton.
I didn't either.
Forever.
And he's won state championships.
In track and field, correct?
And football,
And football as
he was
an assistant.
a coach on Bob Senior's teams.
Man, that guy's got some hardware.
Wow, he sure does. That's greatness. And next week, right, we've got a Community Spotlight Show with KB, Kevin Burns, as we get ready for his brand new show on June 17th. We get to know where KB came from and all that good stuff. So that's greatness. Community Spotlight. Be sure to join us for that every weekday right here on Lake TV.
A couple others. Lotto Homes, second season is in the works and is about to hit Lake TV. Also, the Small Business Tour presented by Hy-Vee is also in the works with our second season of that. So we're super excited. Chris, this always flies by. Is
I
anyone as
know.
lucky as we are to be doing this?
Isn't that great? We get paid for this, man.
This has been a cup of coffee with Will and Uncle Chris right here at Slumberland. Got to give a shout out to Jill Ray, Daryl Cunningham, and their entire crew. Of course, Andrew Evans, Ricky Smith, Megan Alpers. This guy's Uncle Chris. I'm Wild Will. We'll see you next week.